eu volto aqui. Vamos queimar essa porra! Aparece, nós vamos queimar! Ei, Gil, cuidado!
Cuidado, vai explodir essa porra aí, ó.
Walmir de Jesus is fighting the mafia of Amazonia.
Eu não gosto nem de comentar sobre isso porque é uma coisa muito pessoal, né?
I believe my days are numbered.
Mas eu acho que eu tô
I really think my days are numbered.
Então por que
Then why won't you accept bodyguards?
guarda-costa
They can't save you.
Não adianta.
Walmir combats deforestation, which last year was the second highest ever. So Walmir and Brazil's Environment Agency launched a crackdown to stop the destruction. The river Guaporé forms the frontier between Bolivia and Brazil, and on the Brazilian side the looting of the forest has been marked by theft, forgery, corruption and assassination. More than half the trees of Rondônia have already been cut down. Walmir protects the rest. The trees help in the fight against global warming as they store carbon and stop its release into the atmosphere. The enforcement agency of Brazil's Ministry of the Environment is called IBAMA. Walmir is its regional head, and he's hunting for illegal logging and clearing of the forest. They see something suspicious and investigate. This is selective logging, which only takes the valuable hardwoods, but leaves the rest of the forest. The foreman says that this is sustainable forestry, actually licensed by IBAMA. Selected trees can be legally logged, but only when there are seedlings to replace them, and each tree has an identifying tag. The logs can only be taken away with a movement order called an ATPF, issued by IBAMA. It's a key proof of what's legal and what's not in the timber trade. They then find a small area cleared of trees by a squatter, a man without official title to this land.
Não, eu preciso dele, eu preciso de motosserra. Eu fiquei atrás do motor, eu falei pro senhor.
Ah, eu entendi. Não corre não!
Não, atrás do motor, eu falei.
Não, mas o rapaz é conhecido. Sabe por quê? Porque eu não posso mentir.
I cannot lie. I serve God, so I cannot lie. In no way can I
De
lie.
jeito nenhum eu não posso mentir.
Você já tem a derrubadinha do ano passado, senhor. Dá pra você dobrar uns 3, 4 anos, plantar algum milhozinho lá.
You deforested in the previous 3 or 4 years. You planted rice, beans, pupunha palms, but that's already abandoned. You're now clearing another area, and next year another area. Soon you'll be living in a desert.
Não, mas eu não sou contra não.
You're a religious man. You know if we don't care for the earth, we'll lack water and fertile land.
Cadê o cara que o senhor tá gritando? Ele vai esconder.
Ah, pois é, eu larguei lá, ó.
Dá um pulinho lá.
Não é bem, não é meu vizinho, rapaz, vizinho crente também. Eu não podia ter corrido, porque nós sabemos que...
Walmir's job is to protect the forest and its greatest treasure, the immense diversity of Amazonian life. The river Guaporé is famous for its fish and for the rich bird life which feeds on them. Last year, this sandbank was the birthplace of 400,000 baby turtles. Walmir's team protects the turtles from hunters, fishermen and animal traffickers. But ultimately, all their work is pointless if IBAMA fails to preserve the forest environment. Even in the river, there are countless predators. But for the animals of the Amazon, man is the ultimate predator, and deforestation means extinction. A helicopter patrol finds fresh signs of illegal logging inside a national park. By the time Walmir gets there, everyone's fled.
O que você achou?
Celular.
All Walmir can do now is to try and find anything that will help him identify and fine the loggers.
Eles têm documento aqui.
Walmir recently arrested 18 trucks like this in one night. But now he's going to crack down on the people who buy the timber from the truckers. It's a strategy that will take him into a dangerous fight. The town of São Domingos do Guaporé. For Walmir, its 18 smoking sawmills are the plague center of deforestation. IBAMA suspects many of these logs have been stolen from the reserves.
Documentação da
Eu só
empresa.
tenho documento aqui que posso te mostrar que é de lá de São Francisco, que o pessoal cuida lá. É o Emerson, o escritório bicho, o Paulo é de lá também.
É um escritório aqui.
As usual, the manager stalls over providing documents that he's obliged by law to have.
Parte nota fiscal. Não tem não. Tudo lá no escritório, toda vez que sai daqui é de lá, sai da nota, sai tudo de lá. Não teria como você entrar em contato com o Paulo para providenciar esse projeto? Não, porque é legal.
An IBAMA man warns that they're being surrounded by loggers.
Mas isso tem incentivo por parte de vocês para evitar que a gente faça os pátios, que peça toda a documentação?
More and more men crowd into the office.
Não vai tendo problema, não vai ter agressividade nem nada. Não. Pode ficar tranquilo, pode ficar despreocupado, ninguém vai agredir ninguém, ninguém vai maltratar ninguém, ninguém vai brigar com ninguém.
Pega um outro coitado aí.
Só vai conversar numa boa e tal pra ver o que tá acontecendo.
Não tem problema, a gente aguarda, nós vamos sair daqui.
Vocês vão autuar. E o que vai acontecer? Vocês vão fechar essa firma. Esse camarada, se ele não for fechado, ele não vai conseguir pagar o valor da multa do IBAMA, que ele já é um valor desastroso, e o camarada certamente vai falir, vai fechar as portas. E o que vai acontecer? Vai acontecer isso que todo mundo está vendo aqui, desemprego, essa situação triste que está acontecendo aqui hoje. E que a gente precisava tentar ver se conseguia evitar isso.
Nós do comércio não queremos que a cidade pare. E nós estamos todos unidos, hein? Os madeireiros. Se parar a serraria, para a cidade. Eu vou avisar isso para vocês. Nós não estamos aqui para parar.
Nós não vamos aceitar isso de maneira nenhuma. Eu fico emocionado, sou o vice-prefeito eleito. Nós não vamos aceitar isso de jeito nenhum. Chega da miséria do nosso povo em troca do IBAMA. O IBAMA hoje é o espinho no calo de todos nós. Nós não vamos aceitar isso de maneira nenhuma. É isso que eu estou comentando.
Outnumbered, unable to inspect the timber, the IBAMA team suggests a compromise.
Sim, a gente até se compromete, nós não vamos fazer levantamento de pátio agora, mas o que a gente quer? A gente quer saber, a sua exige, nós vamos tirar a coordenada geográfica, endereço, responsável. Agora, para isso, a gente precisa da ajuda de vocês. A gente tem que circular aqui no município sem problema nenhum.
Eles vieram para fazer pátio de serraria.
Outside, the anxious crowd is waiting.
Com eles, então, chegou à conclusão de que não vai fazer pátio.
They are told of the compromise. IBAMA will not inspect their timber, but will record the address of each sawmill. It's a victory for this remote community over the official representatives of the government. Valmir's team leave the town with their tail more or less between their legs. But they plan a counterattack at IBAMA headquarters in Ji-Paraná. It's IBAMA's Christmas party. All the talk this year is about LeBrown, the rebellious deputy mayor.
Are you going to break LeBrown with fines?
It's not me who will break LeBrown, not Janete the person, but the employee of IBAMA.
Ele organizou a comunidade para impedir o trabalho do IBAMA.
He organized the community to block IBAMA's work. So IBAMA suspended all documentation for the sale of wood from there.
Suspendeu a emissão de documentos para venda de madeira e aparentemente.
Apparently the sawmills are desperate, and he's being pressured to resolve this problem which he created for the industry.
Pressionado, né, por esse problema que causou toda a categoria de madeireiros.
As a sawmill's logs can't be sold without ATPF transport documents, LeBrown decides to challenge Walmir. If he isn't given ATPFs legally, he says he will buy them illegally from corrupt IBAMA staff.
Pois é. Você vai pagar R$2.000 no ATPF?
Isso aqui, ó, Walmir. Até isso aqui chegou, Walmir, ó.
Por que você não faz uma denúncia na Polícia Federal? Chegou 2.500 a 3.000, segundo o Solebre.
E a coisa mais fácil que tem é a gente morrer por causa disso daí, você sabia disso? E eu tenho medo.
Por quê? Por causa de denúncia?
Exatamente. E eu vou te mostrar pra você que a corrupção não se encontra em Costa Marca, ela se encontra aqui em Ji-Paraná.
Eu quero colaborar. Se puder armar um flagrante e manda no envelope anônimo pra mim.
Tomar um cafezinho, né?
A few days later, LeBrown is the headline. Four bullets were fired at LeBrown in his car. Before joining IBAMA, Walmir made his living from the forest itself.
Walmir, vai multar o dono daqui?
Não, aqui sou eu que moro aqui. Aqui é a minha filha, minha esposa, minha sobrinha, minha...
Marcelo. Nayara.
Tudo aqui, tudo plantado. As palmeiras, todas essas árvores que foram plantadas.
All these trees were planted. It was all deforested when I arrived. It's been regenerated. This whole area was cattle pasture. It's become a forest. This is frejol.
Isso aqui é frejó.
In 10 to 15 years, it could be cut. There's banana, acai palms, pupunha palms, lime, banana. Making the most of this area, I'd have an income of $12,000 to $16,000. Much more than cattle pasture. Pasture would yield 1 or 2 cows per hectare.
For others who wanted to develop agroforestry, Walmir founded this association, living evidence that there's an economic alternative to deforestation.
These are part pupunha palm and part acai palm. The farmer signs a document of commitment, receives so many seedlings to set up agroforestry, and when it's harvested, he sells to the association.
In March, an army helicopter takes an IBAMA team back to San Domingos, the town where they were prevented from inspecting the sawmills. On the way, they check the huge Indian reserve for signs of invaders and any trees being cut down. This time, IBAMA are coming back in force. An army convoy has travelled ahead. It's a show of overwhelming power. The locals are obviously concerned. This school will be their base, and Lebrang and the town council come to protest.
The people are asking why IBAMA is acting this way, as a repressive organization of brutal inspection. But there is no fighting for land here. There is no civil disturbance which justifies the army being here.
Our team came here on a peaceful mission, a team of 8 without a police escort. They were driven out with abuse. They were humiliated. We're only here now because we were prevented from doing our normal work in November.
The battle lines are drawn. The Deputy Mayor Lebrang leading the community against Walmir representing the government.
Ok, que sirva de exemplo e de motivo para todos no período que nós vamos ficar aqui trabalhando. Selva! Selva! Atenção! Apresentar!
Lebrang conducts most of his business on the veranda of his house. His sawmill is about 200 meters away. It's called Jaguar's Water, and he's doing its bit to consume the forest. A 100 years of growth reduced to planks. An IBAMA team measured the logs and planks to check if they match the documentation. Any wood above what's licensed will incur a fine.
Todo tipo de fiscalização brasileira,
all inspections in Brazil are a money-making device, a machine for fines.
É uma máquina de multas.
They play many tricks, hide a lot of wood. Often when we try to do it quicker, we get nervous. but I don't know any other way of measuring wood.
Outro método de medição de madeira.
While the measuring goes on, another team checks the offices for their licenses and ATPF movement orders. Since any undocumented wood incurs a fine, the industry is notorious for its cheating.
Rapaz, essa aqui é adulterada. Que é coisa muito comum aqui na região. Nós pegamos 1.600. Viu, Eli? É uma daquelas. É uma daquelas adulteradas.
Falsa?
Falsa.
Lebrun shows Walmir the car in which they tried to assassinate him.
Ele pegou aqui, dobrou essa chapa e a bala caiu aqui dentro. E o outro tiro, esse vidro aqui, ele tava perto, ele tinha até uma lâmina desse vinil, né? A bala passou mais ou menos por aqui assim e pegou no meio dele do lado de lá.
Tá passando no seu queixo, mais ou menos.
É por aí, né? O cara atirou, eu parei assim, a moto tava ali assim. O primeiro tiro veio de lá pra cá, aí depois lencou. O revólver dele lencou 2 vezes. Aí eu arranquei e aí depois saiu seguido, saiu 4 tiros.
Mas aí, você não tem medo não ficar andando assim?
Mas quem falou que eu não tenho? Eu não ando de noite mais não.
The inspection has brought the town to a halt. The timber trucks are out of work and there's little business activity. It's not easy to get the local people to say what they feel about IBAMA, but fortunately, alcohol is the friend of speech.
Are you a friend of IBAMA?
I'm no friend of IBAMA because I'm living in a prisoner country.
Timbermen don't like IBAMA?
I don't. The government has sold our country to foreigners. The foreigner is master of Amazonia. We can't cut more garapa trees.
Most of the town may dislike IBAMA's presence here, but the owner of a local restaurant has a different opinion.
You had a sawmill before?
Yes.
How did it go?
We had a lot of losses, a lot.
Did IBAMA fine you?
They fined us a lot. Not a small amount, a lot.
Why?
Because we were all illegal. Everything wrong, no documents.
Tudo sem papel, sem documentação. Hoje até é gozado.
Today it's funny. Once I ran from IBAMA, and now they're in my place, that's great.
So it's better to take money off IBAMA than to let them take it off you.
That's funny. I've never had this pleasure before. It's great.
The IBAMA team have come across an attempt to cheat them.
We've discovered 150 concealed logs. The sawmill probably removed them from their timber yard because of IBAMA's operation. If the timber had been in his yard, he would have lost the logs but also received a fine and a lawsuit.
Waiting for the next truck, Walmir talks to a passing timber buyer.
People said it was Lebrun who moved this. Was it him?
I can't say anything.
Talking of Lebrun, last year I seized his wood and he was fined $20,000.
Deu uma multa de R$140 mil. Vamos supor que essa madeira é dele, que ele movimentou as máquinas.
Let's suppose this wood is his. He'll have a great loss again.
Exemplo. Tu acha que com essa coisa,
with this continuing, do you think he can survive?
He'll close down. No one can resist 2 blows like that.
And so if we continue, the sawmill industry will have to work legitimately or quit the business.
$5,90.
The excess wood in the timber yards enters IBAMA's computers.
$0,95.
The fines are beginning to mount.
$5,90.
Dona Neuza, Lebrun's wife, is convinced she knows what will happen.
We're going to have to change our business because Walmir is after us. He's following Lebrau's tracks. Though Lebrau's difficult to catch because, as his nickname suggests, he jumps like a hare.
Lebrau means the big hare.
What we're doing is not just about Lebrau, but all the sawmills. It's not personal. When Lebrau was fined before, others were fined too.
The anonymous logs hidden in the forest are stockpiled in Lebrau's timber yard. The logs will be given to charity, and Lebrau has offered to saw the wood free of charge.
What's the total seized?
More or less 2,000 cubic meters, enough to build 400 modest houses. The Englishman says it will make a town called Valmilandia of the West.
Walmir's operation is to stop wood being stolen from the reserves. So Walmir decides to inspect a nearby Indian reserve. It's over 1 million hectares of table mountains and secretive valleys. Along with the spider monkeys, the mountains are also home to unknown indigenous groups of Indians. The Indians sometimes shelter in these caves. There's evidence of 40 such groups in the Amazon, still desperately hiding from contact with outsiders. On one flight, the helicopter crew photographs one of these small, completely unknown Indian groups. They have plastic sheets and pots stolen from the invaders of the reserve. An Indian woman stands in front with a bow and arrow and shoots at the helicopter. Follow-up flights discovered that invaders of the reserve have set up huts and illegal plantations very close to the Indians. A combined IBAMA and Indian agency team go in to get the invaders to leave.
Achou? Você acha que nós estamos próximos dos índios?
Olha, nós estamos ainda a 8 quilômetros, mas aquele barraco está exatamente a 5 quilômetros que a gente vai.
Então a qualquer momento pode encontrar com o índio aqui, acidentalmente.
Pertinho desses índios aí, tem que ficar muito alerta, que pode levar uma flechada aí.
At the sound of the helicopter, everyone has fled. So they burn the huts to discourage invasion to let the Indians live in peace. Unfortunately, the action fails. A flight to the Indian hut reveals that it too has been burnt. Possibly by invaders, but possibly the Indians abandoned it once the helicopter discovered their location. Back in San Domingos, everything seems normal. The army's having an easy time, but the cat and mouse game still goes on.
This is a hiding place for sawn planks. According to my information, they're from the sawmill of Zegarapa. They're probably from the reserves, the parks, so have no official origin.
Planks are obviously more valuable than logs, and that night, while the IBAMA people are off duty, the area is cleaned out. Next evening, Walmir comes up with a trick of his own. He orders his team to eat outside on a veranda of a bar, so everyone can see that they've finished work for the day. And then he launches a sudden raid.
Fez a luz da cabine e o farol.
Qual é a madeira que você falou?
J.O.X.
Mas onde que é o endereço dela? É aí, ó. Tá puxando madeira pra onde?
Puxando não, eu tava aqui na madeireira aqui do lado aqui, ó.
What's happening?
They're moving wood from place to place within the forest, which is very dense here.
To hide it from you?
Exatamente, para esconder. Ontem fizeram isso.
Exactly. Yesterday they carried off 300 cubic meters.
E hoje aqui, não sei, mas deve dar uns 100 metros, aí uns 80.
Today it's about 80 to 100 cubic meters. They're working at night to cheat the inspection.
Ludibriar a fiscalização, né?
In case the tractor tries to escape, IBAMA follows behind.
Vocês chave?
The next day, the arrested bulldozer is helping to stack confiscated logs. And more are piling up in LeBrown's sawmill, compounding his complex relationship with Walmir.
Walmir is a man who needs to be well protected. Today, whoever tries to make improvements in our industry really runs the risk of being killed. Walmir is a marked man. Do you know I'm 50 years old today? Do you hear, Walmir?
Congratulations.
I hope your present won't leave a bitter taste.
And still the fines continue to add up. It's beside the river Guaporé at Costa Marquise, the capital of the municipality, that the counterattack against Walmir is mounted. This is the town council building.
For us, the representatives of the people, it's difficult to accept this mission to Costa Marquez. A terrorist mission, bringing in the army, working as police. I think the army should have other duties. For me, Senior Walmir is persona non grata.
IBAMA is perhaps one of the most corrupt organizations, particularly in our region. Our information is that for honest sawmills, IBAMA delays 6 to 7 months to release 35 ATPFs. But for fake sawmills, they arrange a great quantity, sold at $800 each. I have confidence in Walmir, a serious and honest person. But within IBAMA there is a real mafia. It is not within the sawmills.
If the senator or anyone wants to denounce corruption in IBAMA, I will cooperate with you. Expose it. Corrupt people only exist if there is a corrupter. I don't know which is worse. Thank you.
The businessman who denounces corrupt people in IBAMA will be a man fatally dead.
Their pressure on me to relax the inspection only makes me intensify it. If they had more political power, they'd expel me from IBAMA. They've been making threats. The bandits of Rondônia are the political class. The governor, some deputies, some senators. These are the people I fear.
A few days later, the mayor, Walmir de Jesus, arrives at LeBron's house.
O comentário que saiu lá falou assim, rapaz, o Walmir consegue mexer até com a história do mundo, até de Deus ele consegue.
Por quê?
Ele falou, já pensou se existisse um Walmir na vida, na época que tinha, que Noé foi fazer a barca lá? Ele não serrava aquela madeira nunca e não respondia aqueles bichos lá.
Tinha feito um belo trabalho. Tinha feito um belo trabalho, não ia ter essas raças chamadas russa humana que matam semelhantes.
Vocês estão indo embora ou...
Não, já
Pra que essa pressa, rapaz?
Tem mel aqui nessa cidade?
Eu sou apaixonado por Costa Marques. Tem todo um carinho especial por aqui mesmo. Apesar de ser pessoa não grata.
Falando nisso, eles têm dinheiro sobrando, velho.
He'll be even less welcome now that it's a day of reckoning for LeBron and the other sawmill owners.
Luis Carlos Spoledori y Costa stored 545.17 cubic meters, a fine of $34,100. Jaguar's Water stored 849.95 cubic meters of logs without ATPFs. Fine $35,400. The same Jaguar's Water sold 12.144 cubic meters of logs without ATPFs. Fine $800. They also tried to deposit 582 cubic meters of logs, which were confiscated.
I'm going to name this Operation Vengeance Number 1. It's unjust. I'll prove it's unjust. I insist on demonstrating it's unjust. I will not agree to this fine. The timberman is not the villain of the story, not the father of the crime. He makes the most of the raw material available. He is a renewer of the forest. Unfortunately, today he's considered a bandit, a destroyer of the environment. I don't see it that way. I won't accept it.
Não aceito, não vou aceitar.
Estamos aí. Viu? Não é perseguição não, viu?
Não tem problema não, Walmir. É impossível. Não existe maneira. Essa é a palavra correta. Não tem como você fazer. De todo jeito, essa parceria eu entro com a bunda e você entra com o pintão, não é não. Entendeu? De todo jeito eu vou me lascar. Gostaria de dizer hoje, se eu fosse um deputado e eu puxei as brasas...
I'm taking the heat for the timber industry. Today I'm paying a price which the IBAMA people think is very high. For me it's very small. Because my bankruptcy will be the beginning of a new era for the timber industry. You'll see.
Pode ter certeza e pode gravar, isso aí que vocês vão ter.
Só vai ficar no setor quem realmente...
The only people who'll stay in the industry will be those who work by the book. For these cheats, the pressure's too great. They'll be charged with a crime, have to go to court. You've seen the fines are too big to make it worth operating illegally.
Não vale a pena mais trabalhar na clandestinidade.
Refusing to accept his fine, LeBrun drives off. In May, the previous year's deforestation figures are announced. It's the second highest total ever. Bad news for the fight against global warming. But there's even worse news for IBAMA's reputation. In the neighbouring state of Mato Grosso, Hugo Whirl, the local head of IBAMA, has been arrested, together with another 84 people, many of them IBAMA staff. They're accused of supplying false ATPF documents, corrupt involvement in illegal timber sales. Walmir's been asked to fly to the Mato Grosso town of Aripuanã to coordinate the staff in the wake of the arrests.
É lá perto do Russo.
Ah, sim, tá. Vamos passar uma bola.
This investigation has jailed many IBAMA people in Mato Grosso. So can the campaign against deforestation still go on?
Na verdade, nós estamos recebendo reforço de fora. Aqui mesmo.
We're receiving a lot of support from outside. These people are from Rio and other states. The loss of the people arrested from IBAMA has been made up by other states. We've already done a good job. Our teams aborted various deforestations, embargoed others, locked up sawmills, seized many chainsaws.
Back in his hometown, Ji-Paraná, Walmir launches a follow-up investigation which leads to a night operation. To avoid leaks, the police are briefed at 3 a.m. and by dawn are blocking all the doors of an IBAMA official's house. Jose Magalhães was one of Walmir's staff. He'd been with Walmir months before at IBAMA's Christmas party. At police headquarters, the charges against him and another IBAMA official are generally linked to the false movement orders for illegal timber, the same issue that the IBAMA staff were arrested for in the neighbouring state.
Encontramos armamento pesado, pegamos 12 de repetição. Foi preso 2 pessoas do IBAMA, mais 20 pessoas madeireiras, pessoas fazendeiras também. E aí esse tem um trabalho já de uns 4 meses que vem sendo feito isso, né? Essa investigação, escuta telefone, enfim, não sei como os métodos da Polícia Federal lá.
Summer in Ji-Paraná brings the annual parade of ranchers and farmers. People who by definition got their land by cutting down the forest. The the numbers at the parade make it obvious that most of the state's population are against Walmir.
The ranchers must feel threatened by you.
Without doubt.
The timbermen, of course.
But the ranchers too. I don't like to talk about this because it's very personal, but I believe my days are numbered. I really think they're numbered.
Then why won't you accept bodyguards?
It's no solution. When you're picked out to die, someone pays a gunman to kill you. There's no mercy. The man is watching you, and at your first slip, a bullet strikes without you even knowing where it came from. Thinking about whether it's better to go armed or not, I suggest it's better to go unarmed and rely on the tongue, on the word.
The long wet season is finally at an end. Now is the crucial time in the battle to protect the forest. The dry season is the time when most illegal logging takes place. But this year, IBAMA have a new weapon. In the past, the Brazilian Space Agency had taken over a year to provide satellite information on deforestation, by which time it's too late for IBAMA to stop the cutting.
Here in Costa Marques, for example, these red dots are deforestations detected this last month.
This is a new system you're using?
The detection has existed for some time, but its operational use has only started now, in 2005. We produce a map, and with this map, we produce a table of coordinates so that the pilot can arrive at the deforestation.
So you can arrive 16 days after the first cut of the forest?
Exactly.
Using the satellite map, Walmir flies to a large area cleared of forest. It looks as if it's still being cut. The workers' hut is still there, along with the workers. For once, they haven't fled. Walmir confiscates the bill hooks and chainsaws.
Para mim é a mesma coisa, eu não sou técnico na área. Certo.
The fine notice to be handed on to the rancher is for a massive $350,000. They fly across last year's deforestation to the ranch house.
Como é que vai, senhor? Você tá bom? O senhor Ademar? O Ademar? Eu sou Ademar. Aí o senhor não pode roubar mais lá, já recolhi as ferramentas e o motosserra, tá?
Entende? Isso aqui é uma posse, né? Uma posse de 50 anos. Então nós fizemos tudo junto ao IBAMA para tentar uma licença para fazer essa derrubada, certo? E não existe licença em cima de posse, né? O que a gente tem que fazer? Né? Ficar quieto ou arriscar, né?
Então tá bom. O senhor só quer saber a multa do senhor? Falou?
Não.
Quer não? Então o menino vai falar pro senhor. Tudo bom?
Posso dar uma opinião sobre essas multas? Vocês tinham que maneirar um pouco para a gente poder pagar, né?
Mas a gente tem que seguir a lei, né? Infelizmente, né? Não é barato, é R$ 1.500 por hectare agora, né? Correr com isso não é barato, né? Mas é uma maneira que a gente está achando de tentar frear um pouco o desmatamento.
This burning is inside the Bom Futuro National Forest, where Walmir finds 2 bulldozers clearing the trees.
Ô, de casa! Vou quebrar essa porra, hein?
The drivers have fled and are hiding nearby.
Se estiver escutando, apareça lá, não vão quebrar, hein? Apareça, nós vamos quebrar! Já pegou fogo no pelo. Já pegou fogo na borracha, lá, tá vendo? Terceira vez que o cara sai daí correu. Já pegou fogo na borracha, já. Ei, Gilson, cuidado.
Cuidado, vai explodir essa porra aí, ó.
Pegou fogo na borracha, lá.
At the second bulldozer, he cuts the fuel pipes. The drivers know he can't take the bulldozers with him, and they're just waiting for the helicopter to leave. As he sets the fire, the bulldozer's radio receives a belated warning about IBAMA's arrival.
Não só pra bola em cima.
This ranch, also inside the National Forest, has just cleared 500 hectares.
Mas ontem tinha gente aqui. Tem comida aqui. Tem uma vaca lá morta lá no curral. Saíram meio apressados. Vamos fazer o alto. Pra você ter uma ideia, se vazou aqui, ele tem 500.
To give you an idea, this invader here has 508 head of cattle. It was probably he who invaded the area, took out the logs and acquired the herd.
It's a government area?
It's a national forest. There should be no cattle here, no deforestation, not even people. If we adopted a tolerant attitude, there wouldn't be any areas of forest left in Rondônia.
So it's good to rest in a hammock and think.
I'm thinking about my next step. Studying the pineapple, deciding how to peel it.
Trees are still being cut down, but the good news is that the rate of deforestation is lower than last year, according to the latest satellite estimate. For all of Amazonia, including Walmir's state of Rondônia, the rate decreased by 40% in 2005. But Walmir knows he can't rest.
Como é que você anda com um caminhão sem documento?
Não, eu só vim aqui pra caramba aqui, ó.
Mas me dá seu documento aí.
Não tem documento.
Levanta a camisa aqui.
Não, tá tendo descarga, como tá com o bucho muito quebrado.
Você não tem documento do caminhão?
Não, em casa tem, tudo lá, né?
Vou ter que consolar a galinha, né? Antes do helicóptero explodir no chão, né? É, vovó, não vamos se fuder, hein? Isso aqui dá tempo, isso aqui dá tempo.
IBAMA are camped out with the police.
Walmir, qual a razão da festa?
Eu falo pra ele, agora eu falo.
Fala.
Agora eu falo. O nosso colega aqui, ó, tá completando mais uma década. Sabe que ele é velho? Aí nós
20 anos,
estamos...
20 anos.
É, 20 anos mais 100. Aí nós estamos comemorando o aniversário dele e é uma honra muito grande pra nós. 1, 2, 3. Parabéns pra você nessa data querida, muitas felicidades,
muitos anos de vida, parabéns pra você.
Back in Costa Marcas, a few months after IBAMA's operation against the sawmills here, Libran is still bitter.
Eu fui investigado pela Polícia Federal,
I was investigated by the federal police, where I made a statement 40 or 50 days ago. They've opened an inquiry which names me as one of the people threatening the life of Walmir de Jesus.
Da vida do Walmir de Jesus. Da minha parte, eu desejo que ele.
For my part, I hope he lives many, many years to repent of the many things that, in my opinion, he did wrong,
Muitas coisas que, na minha opinião, ele agiu de forma errada.
so that he sees what's happening today with unemployment in Costa Marques.
O que acontece no meio social, principalmente aqui na cidade de Costa Marques.
Beside Lebrun's veranda, now empty, is the buyer of Lebrun's sawmill.
After the inspection, were there many bankruptcies here?
Plenty.
Can you manage to work 100%?
100% is impossible with IBAMA, but at least 90%.
The sawmill has a new sign and a new company name, and the building has a fresh coat of green paint, stressing the business is no longer Lebrun's.
Todo empresário que teve grandes autuações ou latifundiários que também
The businessmen who received huge fines, the ranchers who also received enormous fines, and fathers who today see their children and families suffering from economic hardship. You can be sure that any one of these people has the desire to eliminate Senhor Walmir de Jesus.
Muitas vezes de eliminar o Senhor Walmir de Jesus. Essa é a minha opinião.
That's my opinion.
Outros falam, só mostra chegar na hora. Para mim é covarde.
I'm told I'll be dead soon. To be influenced by that would be cowardice. If you want to transform society, you have to take risks. You can't let fear stop you making improvements for your people.
Para o teu povo com medo.
Things are moving. When I started this idea 15 years ago, they said it was crazy. Plant trees? No. But today there are many people changing.
And if they don't, you'll find them.
Exactly.
For more information on tonight's programme, you can visit our website on bbc.co.uk/thisworld. If you'd like to be reminded about upcoming This World programmes, text This World to 81010 to receive our free text alert service.